All right, Jack-o'-lantern has entered the contest. So Jack-o'-lantern has entered the contest. He comes with reverse controls, immunities, incinerate immune, plasma damage, and he can parry projectiles among a bunch of other things. And trust me, we're going to get into all of that. But we got to discuss his combo. What's his combo like? Now, I won't lie. It wasn't that bad. Like, he wasn't janky to play at all. You don't really need to play him medium, light, medium, but you do need to do a certain amount of interactions. Like on his fourth light, I think you can activate certain debuffs on certain classes of a champion. Like, he's really effective against the mutant champions, but overall combo was smooth. Wasn't janky at all, wasn't clunky in any way, shape, or form. I had a good time playing this. He has good damage, and yeah, he just I think this champion is probably one of the most well-rounded champions Kabam has released this year. I had a great time with him. So first up, let's discuss his strengths. What are his strengths? Well, number one, he has a new ability called Inflamed Passive. Well, basically what they do, they increase his critical damage and his ability accuracy boost, and enable him to do even more damage than what he's already doing. And they're really easy to get, and just by playing the champion regularly and throwing your specials. That's basically how you get it. He also has access to multiple damage types, meaning like on his SP2, he can activate poison and incinerate, and boy, are they powerful. Like, the way they can melt certain champions, oh man, insane. Also, he can parry projectiles. I'm not sure where anyone would use this ability, but yeah, he can parry projectiles. So if you have perfect blocked active, I think he will definitely benefit from that, especially since a lot of champions nowadays have a lot of attacks that involve parry projectiles. So yeah, he also does have weaknesses though, like because he's so reliant on his debuffs. Any champion that can purify or cleanse will be really effective against him, and he won't be able to get into his rotation or his loop, and he won't be as effective. Also, if a champion is incinerate immune, he's kind of reliant because of his inflamed passives to do a lot of incinerate damage, and if they're incinerate immune, he's kind of not that guy in my opinion. And on the flip side of that, if they're energy resistant at all, he's kind of like gimped a little bit. So keep that in mind when using this champion against incinerate immunes or purifying cleanse and energy resistance. He's not going to be as effective on attack. So keep that in mind. He does have some immunities though. One of his immunities, he's immune to reverse controls. So if you're fighting against someone who has a lot of reverse controls, he's going to be immune to it. And he's also immune to, of course, incinerate. So yeah, if you're fighting someone who loves to incinerate, he's good. You don't have to worry about that with him. He is incinerate immune, and boy, can he handle that. So yeah. But what is he like Awaken, in my opinion? Well, he does need his Awaken to take advantage of his regen, but you don't get a lot of regen. It's only 0.18 of a base health per second, but it still can come in handy. Like, if I had this champion, I wouldn't take him to Sig 200. I think he's fine at Sig 1, because when you awaken him, you get access to a bulwark buff, granting 125, 100, or 1200 block proficiency. So that isn't that bad. His prestige is 18,180, so he doesn't really need to be awakened, but if you want access to that bulwark buff, you definitely want to awaken him. Now defense, he's kind of a tricky defender. Like, overall, he wasn't a tough defender, but he is tanky. Like, especially every time you throw your special, you get access to the bulwark. So yeah, he's kind of a tanky defender. He's going to take some time to get down, especially with champions like Hercules or even with Nick Fury. Like, he's just overall tanky. A 7-star rank 3, he's probably going to definitely outlast the 2-minute marker in battlegrounds and in war. He's just going to be a tank overall. So, but he can be melted by Old Faithful, aka Archangel. He isn't bleed or poison immune, so you can just literally melt him. But again, he's still taking, this is a 7-star rank 3 Sig 200, so maybe that's why it's taking longer. But yeah, he can be a tank, and he doesn't need high Sig, and he can regen too, so keep that in mind when playing against him on defense, in my opinion. But what are the stat focuses I will recommend for him? Well, I think he will be good with special damage on attack, because he already has that critical rating with those inflamed passives, and they will only do more damage, especially with that SP2. And on defense, same thing again. The special damage increased 12%, even though you can outrange his special attacks. So yeah, keep that in mind. The relics I recommend for him is the Sentinel relic, which will be helpful against non-mutant champions, and it'll definitely benefit his SP2, but it won't really benefit anything else. And it adds Grace's general boost to his kit, so keep that in mind. I think, yeah, the Sentinel Battlecast, I might be saying it wrong. And also the other relic I recommend, I would definitely go with the Sentinel relic first, but the Green Goblet relic will be helpful in all matchup, and it benefits Jack. It will benefit his SP2, but not much else, and it'll definitely boost his damage with multiplier, so keep that in mind. The Masteries I would recommend for him, I don't think he would be really good for the damage Masteries, but he does regen, but you're kind of relying on throwing the SP2 if you want to do like crazy max damage. But yeah, precision, lesser precision, cruelty, less cruelty. Kalatech, that isn't a mastery I would recommend for a lot of these newer champions, but yeah, he'll benefit from the Kalatech mastery, and of course dexterity, because you know it grants precision buffs, and you know you want to do as much damage as you can with him. So yeah, those are the masteries I recommend. I don't think he would be good with the damage masteries at all. So, but you know, surprise me. Maybe leave a comment below if you think he would be good with that. But I don't think he will, because he got to throw those specials. And finally, what are my overall thoughts on him? Well, overall, I like him. I definitely do like him. I think he's a tanky defender. I think he has great damage, especially when you can incinerate or poison the opponent. I think he has good utility, and he's fine at low sig. Like, if you want to awaken him just to get that Bulwell buff, you're good. You just need to awaken him sig 1, and he's good. But he does have cons. To make his inflame passive last longer, he kind of does need to rely on the AI and intercepting. That's the only way you can make him last longer. He also debuff dependent, so if Kaban makes a node where you can't put any debuffs, he's not going to be that guy to go for. He also kind of has weak immunities, meaning like reverse controls. I mean, you don't really find that often in the game as much anymore. Incinerate immunity is nice, but again, that's not a common debuff that is put on defenders or attackers. So, and he kind of needs to be awakened if you want to get that regen, and he will need high sig. But again, I wouldn't recommend using a generic awakening gem on the 6-star, let alone the 7-star. But yeah, I think his pros definitely outweigh his cons. I think he's going to be fantastic in the contest overall, because he has such great abilities with him, and he's really easy to play. He's not complicated at all. So overall, I think he's a solid champion. I think this dude's going to be definitely a banger in Battlegrounds on both offense and on defense. So overall, great champion. So, but let me know what your thoughts are. Leave a comment below if you think, you know, otherwise, and I would love to hear from you. But yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, and for anyone new here, if you can hit that sub button, I'll greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care. Have a great and wonderful day.